Rehearsal. And
Aldo. Yes. Allora, a un certo punto io direi bang, il cartello fa un movimento come
Chris, can I get a full
That's good. Huh?
Where can I get a full lap?
La stessa reazione, qua complicare io direi un altro.
Good.
Bang, la stessa cosa.
Okay, I'll bang it. Everybody, if you're okay.
Okay,
There's some kind of light too that happens.
Hey guys, hold the work, please. Rehearsal.
yeah, not too much.
Oh, tell me it's a bad dream, Skipper.
Bang!
Keep dreaming we're in the middle of a shitstorm.
Guess he's going to have to fix his rickshaw. Great.
Why don't you grab this thing?
Oh, I thought he said something to me.
No, you say something first.
No.
Oh, this is getting ugly, Chief. Request circuit troops on the double.
Request denied. Stop acting like a weak sister. Bang!
I got innocent people. I got innocent people there.
Yeah, let's, you're more concerned now with those people, so this time I wouldn't grab it. I'd just
Albert, you want to rehearse against her or you want to shoot? Okay. Okay, guys, picture is up. Picture will be next. Yeah, is that good?
Tu non vedi questo, no? No, cerco di non vederlo.
Sound speed. A marker.
Okay, action!
Tell me it's a bad dream, Skipper.
Bang!
Come on, Stumpy. We're in the middle of a shitstorm.
Guess he's going to have to fix his rickshaw. Great.
This is getting ugly out here, Chief. Request surface troops on the double.
Request denied. Stop acting like a weak sister. Bang!
I got innocent people here. Call up the floor show or I'm going to abort.
And cut it.
Right now.
Camera loads.
Camera reloads.
One up.
Jenny.
See, let's do it one more time. I'd like to see that.
Uno más and camera reloads.
A marker.
Okay, we're driving and driving. Action.
Oh, tell me it's a bad dream, Skipper.
Bang!
3 months, dude. We're in the middle of a shitstorm.
Guess he's going to have to fix his rickshaw. Great.
Request surface troops on the double, Chief. It's getting ugly out here.
Request denied. And stop acting like a weak sister. Bang! What? Cut it. That's okay. One more time.
Cut it. Once again.
Here we go.
Speed. Mark. B marker.
All right, we're driving. And action.
Oh, tell me it's a bad dream, Skipper.
Bang!
Dream on, Stumpy. We're in the middle of a shitstorm.
Guess who's going to have to fix his rickshaw? Great.
We're in trouble out here, Chief. Request surface troops on the double.
Request denied. Now stop acting like a weak sister. Bang!
I got innocent people here.
One more time.
Cut it. 10.
I think I'll delay my second bang to give you time to do this. I'm too early because you're driving and I'm going back. Let's do it again.
All right, once again, guys. Roll, please. Sound speed. A marker.
All right. Action.
Tell me it's a bad dream, Skipper.
Bang!
Dream on. We're in the middle of a shitstorm.
Cut. Sorry.
Cut it here.
Ho preso 13.
Our fault. Okay.
Right away, guys, please. Keep it locked. Here we go.
Thanks, Scott.
And. 5 up. And. Roll, please. Sound speed. A marker.
Okay, we're driving. And action.
Tell me it's a bad dream, Skipper.
Bang!
Dream on, Stumpy. We're in the middle of a shitstorm.
Guess who's gonna have to fix this rickshaw?
We're in trouble out here, Chief. Request surface troops on the double.
Request denied. Stop acting like a weak sister. Bang!
I got innocent people here. Call up the force show or I'm gonna abort.
Cut.
It's okay, Chief. It's still in warranty.
Cut it. 19.
Stay on my board the way you are when I cut. Don't throw it back.
Dial, Scott.
Okay, one more time.
19. No, living takes some years.
Was it a good one? During my
He was very good. Proposition department. She went back to college. Proposition. So she comes to me. One of the we're old.
It's over here. Let me catch up. Yeah.
Hey, what? Jessica, what number is it? 14? All right, guys, here we go. On a bell. Lock it up. And roll, please. Sounds good.
A marker.
All right, we're walking and
Tell me it's a bad dream, Skipper.
bang!
Dream on, Stumpy. We're in the middle of a shitstorm.
Guess who's gonna have to fix this rickshaw? Great.
It's getting ugly out here, Chief. Request surface troops on the double.
Request denied. Stop acting like a weak sister. Bang!
I got innocent people out here. Call up the floor show or I'm gonna abort.
All right, cut it and hold it. Hold this position, please.
Cut it.
25. No me copa la tacha, no? No. Va bene. Okay, print that.
Got it.
Okay, good.
Very good.
Checking the gate here.
1 and 6.
No, okay, so proceed.
Sound speed.
A marker.
Okay, we're driving and driving. Action.
Tell me it's a bad dream, Skipper.
Bang!
Dream on, Stumpy. We're in the middle of a shitstorm.
Guess who's gonna have to fix this rickshaw? Great.
It's getting ugly out here, Chief. Request surface troops on the double.
Request denied. Stop acting like a weak sister. Bang!
I got innocent people here. Call up the floor show or I'm gonna abort.
And cut. Beautiful.
Cut it. 31.
Come in.
A marker.
All right, we're driving and action.
Tell me it's a bad dream, Skipper.
Bang!
Dream on, Stumpy. We're in the middle of a shitstorm.
Guess who's gonna have to fix this rickshaw? Great.
It's getting ugly out here, Chief. Request surface troops on the double.
Request denied. Don't be like a weak sister. Bang!
I got innocent people here. Call up the floor show or I'm gonna abort.
And cut.
Cut it out.
Very nice. All right, print that too, please.
Checking the gate. Check the gate. Camera loads. 37.
And action.
Tell me it's a bad dream, Skipper.
Bang!
Dream on. We're in the middle of a shitstorm, Stumpy.
Guess who's gonna have to fix this rickshaw? Great.
It's getting ugly out here, Chief. Request surface troops on the double.
Request denied. Don't act like a weak sister. Bang!
I got innocent people here. Call up the floor show or I'm gonna abort.
And cut.
Cut it out.
Then, beautiful. Okay, that's it.
Good?
Print it? Yep.
Checking the gate. Checking the gate here, gang.
We have two, right?
Got it.
How much of it?
So I do with all the bands and orders, programs. I write projects and master releases and I do portfolio editors.
I saw, seen all the puppets. I see on cable. I just saw, I saw all the trailers. I just saw last night. Subspecies. It is. Really? Wow. You're kidding. You really do that well?
Since you've only been here for a day and a half, there's not really that much we can talk about as your experience on the set is concerned, but tell us a little bit about your character and maybe a little bit about yourself, what you've done before.
Well, I'm having and plan to have a lot more fun with this because it's a wonderful second banana sidekick kind of part. The idol worshipping sort of friend of Captain Midnight-esque sort of character, Drake. And I have a 15-year-old and 18-year-old sons who are absolutely thrilled with this because I'll get to run around in jeeps and I'll get to fire guns and I'll get to jump out of helicopters and it's just as exciting for them as it is for me because it's different than what I normally get to do.
What kind of stuff do you normally do?
Well, I do a lot of TV. I do a lot of commercials. I recurred on Coach for a while, playing the Coach's in-law's father, Mr. Rosebrock. And I did about 4 episodes of that were wonderfully written, and it was great fun. But Murphy Brown, that kind of show, Golden Girls, and started out in New York on the Broadway stage and did a Mice and Men with James Earl Jones and Texas Trilogy with Diane Ladd. And then about that time, the trend in theater in New York was more toward British comedies and black musicals. So I thought, well, that isn't me. So I came out here and got involved in commercials, which it's been very good to me, and just sort of been enjoying myself. I've got spent a lot of time with my sons, a lot of time with my wife's a school teacher in the San Fernando Valley, so basically I'm a boring valley dad, but which makes something like this all the more fun.
Now, you're saying that you already are having fun here? I mean, I know that you've already been here. Well, actually, you guys are going a lot, but you really had a schedule
Well,
already.
yeah, they're really flying along. Most of my stuff is with Drake. And I met Don Michael this morning, and he was very nice, and immediately that puts you at ease because you think, I'm going to spend all my time with this guy. I hope he's nice, you know, and has an easy temperament. And at this point, we're getting along great, and we've had a really fun morning.
So you've never had a chance to work with him before?
No. I don't really know anybody in the cast, but I'm looking forward to meeting them, yeah.
And you don't know anybody that's worked on the crew yet?
Well, actually, Peter Haskell, yes, I know, who's playing Rooney. A good actor, been around a long time. He and I, our kids played Little League together out in the valley, so I'm glad he's going to work the show, but I haven't seen him yet.
So, what about Full Moon? Have you ever heard of Full Moon before this?
I've read for Full Moon on several occasions.
That's why you look familiar.
And, well, yeah, just reading for them, you know, and I always get so close on 3 or 4 very different movies. And this is the first one I've gotten, so I'm just delighted. I was starting to take it personally, you know, they have me in, and I thought maybe they just liked rejecting me, but they've actually hired me for this thing, so I feel very good.
They were looking for just the right part for you then.
They were saving me for Stumpy.
How do you like Stumpy? I mean, what kind of guy is he?
Well, Stumpy is he's the second banana. He's the right-hand man of Drake, the captain, and he does his job very efficiently, and he's a team player, and he's just a good old boy out to help the team. And I think it'll be a lot of fun. I can't wait till we get to the desert and do the action stuff, although I think it's going to be very hot, and this is pretty warm stuff. So maybe I'll get over that.
Yeah, the desert stuff, that's going to be shot in Taft, right?
Taft, a small town near Bakersfield. And I think that sounds like great fun. Of course, I grew up in Oklahoma, so what do I know? You know?
Oh, so you're going from Oklahoma
I won't know any better. I'll just...
You end up in the valley.
Well, I just found the hottest place. You look for the hottest place and you move there. Yeah.
Have you seen any of the other full-length films? The ones that maybe you didn't get part in?
Well, of course, I was somewhat put out that I wasn't in the ones that I read for. So I had read for Seed People and Trancers 2 and several other things. But the casting people and the director were very patient, kept having me back, and so finally I've gotten in this one, and this is the one I'm the most excited about. I'm really happy to be in this one. It's, of course, you know, the success of the movie is not in the great acting, but in the technical effects. So we're cheering for the tech people to do their stuff and make us all look good.
You know, there's one thing you mentioned that, and I was always curious. I've always seen so many people come back for more, you know, to work more and more films, and I always wondered now, how is that? Being an actor getting rejected so many times. I know that you can't take it personally, but what's it really
Oh, well, you
like?
develop skin about that thick, and it becomes impossible to insult you. You know, it's not an insult. You just keep going. You stay. It happens all the time. I read in television Remington Steele any number of times, and finally got a real good part. Trapper John I read forever. Then finally I did 3. And it just all goes inside. You keep going. You proceed, and you don't take no for an answer. And I've been very lucky to make a good living at this for about 22 years now. I started out on Broadway, and now out here with commercials and television and some film. So it's not for sissies.
Right. Yeah, because I guess that I've seen so many people in all the films, and there's so many familiar faces, and I go, gosh, you know, it must be really hard, but at the same time, I guess it would be great that they do keep calling you back because they like you, but they got to find the right part. You know, so this is neat. I like this script. I think it's going to be a great one.
It is. If it has the sense of fun, if you go with it, you know, we're not doing Shakespeare and Chekhov here. We're just having fun and passing some time, and let the technical people show their wizardry. And as long as we know that and have our fun, this will be a nice 2 hours for people.
So this morning you guys were shooting inside the cockpit?
Yeah.
Is that what it is? It's like in the cockpit in the robot?
Yeah, that's real easy money. I mean, that's real easy passing time there. Not so exciting because you're just sort of stationary. You say your lines, and what I want to do is get out in the desert and really talk to people and run and jump and shoot the guns and be a kid.
Yeah, are you going to bring your sons along with you?
Actually, they do want to come out. They're very excited about this. This is neat. This is fun stuff. They were, I think, the most exciting show that I did when they were growing up was Punky Brewster. Did a nice guest shot on Punky Brewster, and they were very excited. And something really wonderful would come along, and I'd tell them about that, and they go, well, you know, that's nice, but it's not Punky Brewster.
Yeah, this is fun. I like this kind of film. They always do pretty well. Have you seen or heard of Robot Jocks?
No, but I'm going to rent that. Don Michael was telling me about that this morning, and I'm going to rent that and look at that. Because you can bet I'm pulling for it to be good.
Okay. I think that's good for now.
All right.
If we can, towards the end of the film.
French.
Oh, Italians are better than French.
I will be.
Okay. Linda, tell us a little bit about you and what your job is. What do you do?
Well, today my job is to help with the blue screen, which I'm sure you can see behind me. And
basically working with Adolfo, who's the DP, and Vance, who's the key grip, who have been setting up the blue screen. And we use it to matte in a different background. Now, this film is pretty elaborate. Charlie's really enthusiastic about this film, so he's putting in a little extra expense with the blue screen so that the shots out of the cockpits of the robot.
That one was okay, but the rest of it
was okay.
Okay.
This is just last
Okay.
Maybe he's done doing that.
Okay.
Okay. So,
Well, you can tell the crew's very busy back here.
Hey, guys.
But what we'll do is David Allen, who will be doing the robots, will also shoot what we call background plates. So when you see the pilots in the cockpit, what's behind them on the set is blue. But in an optical printer, I can pull out a matte and put in whatever background David Allen shoots for me. So if he shoots the desert, or whether it's a city or in outer space, whatever the background is, the blue allows us to pull that out and put in a new background so it looks like they're actually up in the top of the robots.
Now, when you say that you will pull that background out, what does that mean? How does that work?
Well, the blue is a very specific wavelength of blue so that I can use a blue separation filter. And I create mattes so that where the blue is, it's clear. The matte is where the person is, and by matting in the different background, the blue is no longer there. It just goes totally clear.
So the other matte that you would put there it replaces the blue?
It absolutely replaces the blue and makes it look like they're really in a different background.
Right. Now, is it a machine that does that, or is it you do it?
Well, it's an optical printer. People have been doing this for years. And, you know, Star Wars and Indiana Jones and all the movies that use special effects use blue screen to put their characters in a different background. And so we're doing it here on this film.
Okay. Now, do you know why it is that there's this particular blue? I mean, do you know how it all came up, the blue screen technique, or?
Well, if you think of, if you ever have a prism and you see the colors of the rainbow, they're all a particular wavelength, all a particular spectrum. And just because the way film is made, not to get too technical, but the blue wavelength will hit a certain emulsion layer of the film, and it's a very specific layer that you can draw out with a filter, and it's much easier than, say, a green screen. You could use a green screen, but blue's a little bit better. You could use any primary color, really.
Oh, okay. Now, before a blue screen, if they wanted to do something like this, where you have the little in front of the big, how would they do that before,
Before blue screen?
Before blue screen.
Oh, dear. I don't think you want a whole history lesson.
No.
But they had methods of doing it in black and white, doing it in the camera. And really, once color film came out, they started experimenting with the different color screens. You could also use a sodium screen, for example. And it's been a technique that's been around longer than me. I'm sorry, I can't remember who exactly invented it, but it works very well.
Is there any kind of special camera equipment or film that needs to be used, or it's all just the same, you just put a different background?
Well, no, you do have to use certain film stocks. Some film stocks are not suitable. We're using 5296. And the important thing is to get the blue screen very even, which is why Vance has been helping a lot, and as I said, Adolfo, to make sure that the exposure is correct. Because we'll be adding other effects too, laser fire, for example, or explosion, and we'll be adding all of these things going on outside the windows of the cockpit. So we'll be adding a lot of different effects to the overall film.
You mentioned the fire or the action going out outside. Now, would they just separately, let's say, go out and shoot, say, a war scene, and then you could use that? It wouldn't have to be something that's created by David Allen, let's say.
Well, we'll probably use part of both. Some of it will be created by David Allen. We might just shoot some explosions separately. We'll also, I said that twice, didn't we? We'll also use roto animation, which we use a lot of on Charlie's films. Dr. Mordred, that we just finished, will use a lot of hand-drawn animation for the lasers in this film or some of the explosions, and we'll just combine a lot of different effects.
Is there ever a situation where you might just have, like, this might sound bad, but you might just have a picture that you can get blown up or something and leave it static there, or that would be too flat maybe?
Yeah, that wouldn't look very good. We try to have a moving background, and what David's going to have to do as part of why I'm here today is while it's being shot, I'll be taking notes of where the camera is, how high the lens is, what angle it's pointed at. Because that's very important for David to be able to match the background. If the camera is tilted down, for example, at 10 degrees, looking over the shoulder of the pilot in the cockpit of the robot, well, David needs to know that so that when he's out on the desert and he shoots the background plate, he'll shoot it at the same angle so that when I combine them in the optical printer, it gives the impression that they're both truly from the same camera, not that one's pointing in one direction and one is pointing in the other, because that would give a totally unreal, unnatural look to the background. So that's the main reason I'm here while they're shooting.
So tell us a little bit about the separation filters. How? Okay. This way, if you explain them a little and how they work, then later we can just bring those up and show the difference.
Yeah. Part of what I bring with me in my kit to light the blue screen are the separation filters that I also use in the optical printer. And what I'll ask you to do is to put a blue filter in front of the lens and a red filter in front of the lens, and we'll hope it works on your video camera. But what you should see is one lens, you see me, and the blue screen goes black. And on the other one, you should see where I'm black, I'm a silhouette, and you see the blue screen. And that should demonstrate how the mats work and how the blue screen works.
Do you always only use these colors when you're, those are the ones?
Right, right.
Okay.
These are them.
Is there anything that I have forgotten that you think would be important for someone to know that I don't even know of a question that can be asked? Because I have no idea how any of this thing works. But
well,
is there something else that you would like to let us know?
Let's see. Gosh, that's about it. To explain it sounds simple. To put it in the optical printer isn't. Quite often what happens when I come down to a set and explain what I need, people kind of give me a quizzical look. Well, why do you need that filter? Or why do we need this film? And all I can say is that technically that's what you need, and hopefully when I show them the filters or the tests that I've done, then they begin to understand. You always have this much problem.
A marker.
All right, we're driving, and action.
Tell me it's a bad dream, Skipper.
And boom!
Dream on, Stumpy. We're in the middle of a shitstorm.
Guess who's gonna have to fix this rickshaw? Great.
Things are getting ugly out here, Chief. Request surface troops on the double.
Request denied. Don't act like a weak sister. Boom! Okay. Cut it.
Cut it. We still see the screen.
Tutto il resto va bene? Lo stai scrivendo? Sì. Sì. Ok. All right, we're driving, and action. Somebody's bathroom, skipper. Boom!
Dream on, Stumpy. We're in the middle of a shitstorm.
Guess who's gonna have to fix this rickshaw? Great.
Things are getting ugly out here, Chief. Request surface troops on the double.
Request denied. Now stop acting like a weak sister. Boom! That's done.
Cut it out. Cut it.
That's good deal.
Check the gate then, gang.
We're hearing that one.
Roll, please.
Rolling.
Down speed.
A marker.
All right. Lots of firing. Almost panic. Drake, what's going on out there?
We're to fire from remote control laser launchers. They're triangulating the mag shield.
Boom! Cut.
Got it.
What's the description?
Like that?
Good enough.
Okay, guys, 24's up. After this one, we will turn the cockpit. Alright, here we go, guys. Stand by.
Close them up. Bands up. Thank you.
Hanging in there, Stumpy. Hanging in there, Stumpy.
Okay.
No. Yes.
Can't work, so can't bust it. Can't work. Settle in, folks. Don and Jim, you ready? Yeah. Here we go. And roll, please.
Okay. A marker.
And Don, during this, hit as many buttons as you can in front of you. Here we go. Action!
Hey, in there, Stumpy?
I actually spit a hole in this jump seat. What are you going to do to him, Captain?
Well, they messed with the bull, Stumpy. They hit the horn.
Okay, cut it.
Cut it. Cut it out.
Yeah, go ahead. And anytime.
Okay.
Okay, let's just do it. I'm gonna do it. Do it again, please.
Yes, 7 days.
Okay.
Bound?
Bound. Come closer, please.
Okay.
Okay.
No, I just, I forget how to get to this place. I didn't bring shorts or anything. I just happened to have this in my car. And,
You know, try sitting in that cockpit with the lights on.
Oh boy, it's getting toasty in there. Yeah.
especially with all the lights from the blue screen stuff. Oh my gosh. And then you have to have the stuff on your head too?
Yeah. I don't look forward to this in the desert.
I got a whole different.
I'm getting tired of seeing stuff like the blue screen is always interesting.
Well, you got the stump man. Jim,
Oh.
that's the most interesting interview. Yeah.
Monica, just lean forward, just in here. Right there, that's good.
Now, will you be coming out to staff in the desert with us?
Well, we were deciding about that. Probably one day you want to come out to the desert and get all of your wonderful action shots.
You're welcome to come out and join us there in the sand. And Motel 6, is that what the problem is?
Sure it is.
No, I think that's
If we're lucky.
No motels. But yeah, we're going to try and come out there and get the fighting stuff. Exteriors are
Do we
always-
fight in the desert?
I don't know. Isn't there like
We haven't fight in the
some
desert.
kind of...
There's an interesting little thing that says
We
they
fall
drop
out
out
of
of the, we fall out of the sky.
That's right.
Now I'm interested in what they're going to do with that.
It's a I think we're parachuting is what we're doing.
At which point you say, now where is this mag gun?
We're parachuting out of the sky.
Wait, I don't remember reading that in the script.
Well,
Is it new?
No, you ain't the one falling out of the sky. That line stands out if you're a character when you run across it.